Yo yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new F1 24 League Racing video. It's been a while actually. It's been I think 9 or 10 days since I uploaded. A good reason for that, I have moved out of basically my parents' house that you can see still in the video. I still live at home there, but by the time I was commentating this is I think like 2 weeks later, so sorry there was no video for like 10 days. I was moving out, then I got sick, and then I did some karting as well, and in the meantime I was also doing league races, and yeah, still setting everything up on my new rig. I'm on a different rig at the moment, a rig that we have to use for F1 esports, so that's great preparation as well, but at the same time, you know, it takes some time to get used to, takes a lot of practice, so yeah, sorry there was very little to no content on my socials, but we're back, and yeah, excuse me for the poor microphone as well. The microphone I used at home I didn't really like. I think it was never really the quality I wanted, and it doesn't fit on the new rig, so yeah, bit of an issue there, but all just minor details. I will go out and buy a new mic tomorrow, so yeah, I'm sorry the voiceover quality is perhaps not what you guys expect from me, but yeah, it'll be better for the future videos. So yeah, this is Spa, round number 5 of the championship. You guys could just see the standings like a minute ago. We are first by only 2 points though. It's very close in the championship. However, today we're going to try an extended lead in the championship, of course. So, as you can see now, out in Q1 for the first lap, Wilson huge with a 141.0, Danny Bresney with a 140.9. Now I did do PSGL E-Series, which is a team championship around here on a Friday before, as kind of practice for this, but it's a team championship that the Red Bull participates in as well. Yeah, I decided, you know what, I can do this round because it's great practice for PSGL next week anyway. So yeah, here we go then into the final sector. It hasn't been a great lap, I'm not gonna lie. It was a 113.2 split, and yeah, that's just not great. I think a 140.7 is P1 at the moment. Multiple jabs on the steering wheel into the second last corner as well. It's a 140.9. And yeah, I wasn't happy with that. I was very much not happy with that. But there's a lot of time in the final corner. This is my second run. Not ideal that we had to go out again. Actually, we could have stayed in because you can see we're P14 at the moment. We're the last across the line, and that puts us P3. I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna finish the lap. Why not? P3 it is. But that means we don't have a second set of tires in Q3. We're gonna have to set a lap in Q3 if we make it to Q3 on one set of tires. Tom Manley, Wilson Huge, Jake Benham, Lenny Pepinter, and Joni Tomala out in Q1, and yeah, time to try and do a single lap in Q2, or use a single set of tires in Q2, so we can still have 2 new sets of tires for Q3. But on this level that is very hard, especially Q2 is usually very, very competitive. 140.6 on that first lap, and that's not going to be enough for Q3. Now, I think in PSGL E-Series, so the team championship I was talking about, I think I did a 140.4 in Q2. So it seems like I've gone in the wrong direction with the setup or something, because 2 tenths down after 4 or 5 extra days of practice is very much no ideal. But yeah, we had to go out again in Q2 here and improve on our lap. 300 up though, out of the hairpin, out of turn number 1. And the question is always, can you remain, or can you keep that advantage all the way up the hill? Because yeah, this game is so incredibly sensitive to bumps that if you're 1 centimeter too far to the left or the right, you might hit a bump slightly different and you lose instantly so much time. So yeah, that's always the question, but we did remain. We did keep the 300 advantage, and that's just what we need to do. We need to keep gaining a few hundreds every corner, and that will be enough for not just Q3, but if we do keep gaining like 1 or 2 hundredths every corner, we're going to be P1 by the end of the lap because there's so many corners. But that's very, very hard. You can see the downhill left, we lost like 3 hundredths. Gained a little bit back in P1. P1 is flat out on this game this year. A little bit of a moment through that chicane into the last corner of Sector 2. I'm terrible with the corner names actually. I know P1, Blanchimont, Eau Rouge, Radion, Le Comps, but that's about it. 1.2 tenths up. Now, you might be thinking that's a lot, and it is a lot. But this final chicane is so hard to know. I remember 2021 F1 Esports. I was on for a lap in Q2, which was like over 210 improvement. Absolute banger of a lap. It would have been enough for pole position in Q3. Made a massive mistake in the final chicane and didn't even make it to Q3. And that also almost happened again here. You can see I only improved by 4 hundredths. So yeah, not a great last chicane, and definitely something we have to improve on for Q3. Sorry for the audio crackling. It's because I use game capture audio in Streamlabs, so my engineers can't be heard on stream. Yeah, it's annoying. I wish I could fix it, and there's probably a way to fix it, but I just haven't figured it out how. Not to mention I've been very busy with moving in and out, so it's not like I've really actively searched for a fix. But yeah, here we go then. Final run in Q3. We've set a lap on used tires, which put us P7, which is not too bad, but obviously this is the lap that counts, and if we don't improve, we're probably going to be P9 or P10. So 200 improvement through turn 1, which is not a lot, but yeah, the new tire effect is really going to come into play in this middle sector and in the last sector, because yeah, the used tires tend to really have a massive disadvantage as the lap goes on, or in the second half of the lap. I had a terrible Le Comp section. You can see I completely lost the back end. Again, a moment on the entry of the right-hander, again on the exit. So yeah, really.
What the fuck was the spray coming off my tires? Am I tripping?
Really not a good lap. Probably getting into my own head a little bit as well. I was talking about spray. So yeah, it's been a disaster. This is probably gonna be a P10 lap. If we are lucky, we might get a few free positions due to mistakes of others or invalidations, but yeah, absolute honker of a lap, and this is nowhere near gonna be enough for pole position. Freddie Rasmussen, our teammate, is a 140.224. Could be pole position. We are not gonna be pole position. We're gonna be like 3-4 tenths off that. Now on PSGL E series, I did a 40.4 in Q2, and now I do I won 40.5 in the final lap of Q3. So
oh, man.
Yeah.
Put on new tires and I just understeer all the track everywhere.
Yeah, not my best lap ever done. We're still P7 somehow, with an absolute honker of a lap. 3.5 tenths away from pole. And yeah, pole was probably in there, but it's just massive mistakes. Struggled getting a feeling for the car, understeering, oversteering everywhere. So yeah, probably have gone backwards a little bit with the setup myself. Of course, me and Freddie don't drive the same setups, just like every teammate or teammates don't use the same setup very often. It's very common. Anyway, onto the race we go. Starting P7 on the grid behind Nicolas Longuet and Josh Ido. Starting on the hards, it is going to be lights out, and away we go. We're going to try and find a little way into turn 1. Josh went down the inside, which confused me a little bit, but I did get the move done on Nicolas, so it did work. I had to back out there because otherwise it was going to be like 3 wide, and I was risking getting front wing damage. So decided to back out of that one, and now see if we can go for a move on Camel Straight into Le Comps. Not using all of my battery here on this straight. We've got Declan Barrett behind us, and yeah, he was sitting back as well, just saving the battery a little bit for later on in the lap, because it's a long lap. If you use your battery too much early on, you're gonna be in trouble towards sector 3. And now we go down the inside of Philip Racinator. Nicolas Longuet and Josh Idowu are wheel banging a little bit there, and I decided to back out of this one. Philip leaves us a space. Nicolas gets shoved onto the gravel, and that was a little bit scary. I had to be careful there. course, Nicholas had to rejoin, but I also had a car on my inside there. So yeah, I had to be careful. Now, back up to P7. And trying to move up front. I think the entire grid is actually on the hard compound of tires. And it just seems to be the strategy on this game. Starting on the hards and moving on to the softer compound. I think anything else doesn't really seem to work too well. So yeah, now we got a good run on Philip there. I think Philip tried to save his battery a little bit. I decided to do the same, but after Blanchimont, to put some pressure on Philip here. I felt already on this opening lap that our race pace was going to be great. Freddy sets a fast lap of 46.8, obviously, as he started first. And Josh making actually a massive mistake into turn 1. And that opened the door for Philip. It's just frustrating, because Philip has had a great start to this race. Moving from P8 to P5, whereas we had just been stuck in the same position. And now we're gonna go on the attack on Jish Idowu. Can't quite get them moved on into Lecombe. They didn't want to go side by side so early on in this race. We set a purple first sector, but now 1 lap later we're gonna do the same again. We're gonna turn on the overtake button and go for the move up Camel straight in the slipstream. You can see we're very close, up to 356.78 kph into Lecombe. However, that did cost us nearly our whole battery trying to get past Josh there. Again, a purple first sector with the help of a 358 kph top speed. Up to P6 we go. And now lap 4, we're gonna launch an attack on Philip Raginator. We've recharged our battery, and you can see we got a great run once again. We're gonna turn on the overtake button and move around the outside into P5. And yeah, great few opening laps. Dropped to P8 for a moment, but now up to P5 again. Fastest lap of the race as well there. So yeah, great few opening laps for us. Pace looks great. And now we're behind Barry Bormand for P4, and we're gonna try and move past him as well. Again, we get a great run into Blanchimont here, and we're gonna turn on the overtake button once again and move up to P4 in this race. Barry braking really late down the inside of us there. He leaves us the space, we leave him the space, and he's gonna come back at us into turn 1 for sure. However, we got a lot more speed. I thought for a moment Barry was gonna accept his loss, but he went back down the inside in turn 1. However, we got the outside, more momentum, and we move up to P4. So yeah, we are having great pace. We're managing to overtake in the DRS train. So yeah, going well. And a lot of people have been asking in my YouTube comments, why is your overtake button assigned? There's been this whole Joy to Key drama, of course, recently in F1 Esports. I'm not sure if anyone has seen it, but yeah, there were a lot of people claiming that several people had used Joy to Key in F1 Esports. It basically mimics your controller on an F1 game. Now, for the people who don't know too well, if you're driving on a controller, you've got slightly more traction, and it's to assist controller players and get them slightly closer to wheel users, you know, to make it slightly easier for controller players. That's why in the past there were so many tracks where controller was faster than wheel. Not necessarily because the controller players were driving so much better, it's just because they had more traction. And I think over the past few years that's been balanced a lot better, but there were still people using apparently Joy to Key in F1 24, even though I read somewhere else it was getting caught by WRC anti-cheat. However, then I read somewhere else that that's the same anti-cheat using an F1 24. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but yeah, obviously we're not using Joy to Key because that would be flat out cheating in F1 Esports. And yeah, the reason my overtake button isn't assigned is because I don't have an overtake button assigned. I've got an MFD shortcut which you can set up in the game controls for ERS increase and ERS decrease. So basically I'm going through my ERS modes like on F1 2019 or F1 2018. Yeah, just because I felt like it was easier. So yeah, obviously we've never used Joy to Key because it would be flat out cheating. There were some people on the internet claiming I've used it, but I've always had my overtake button assigned up until this game, and I'm not going to use Joy to Key on this game because after this whole controversy, it's obviously very much gonna be checked in F1 Esports even more. I think it was already checked actually in past years. I'm not sure. I didn't get the arrest there actually. Anyway, back to the race. Enough of this Joy to Key nonsense. I already spoke about it on Twitch, but just wanted to speak about it on to my YouTube viewers as well, of course. So yeah, it's not enough. There's not enough time to keep talking about this. We're nearing the end of the race. 4 laps to go in the end of this one. We're having a great little comeback because we boxed really late in this race. We boxed at the end of lap 16 together with Freddy. So 6 laps from the end. Danny Bresnay boxed 1 lap before us, and then everyone else boxed before that even. So yeah, Danny is going to be the hardest to get past probably. However, we're already back up to P6, overtaken Duncan and Nicolas Longue, and now within 4 laps we have to overtake another 5 cars. We got Duncan pushing us down the straight a little bit here, and it looked like for a moment I could go for a move on Danny as well, but he started using his battery a little bit earlier. Now I boxed in Freddy a little bit, which obviously I didn't mean to do. I wanted to give him slipstream right there, but yeah, a little bit rusty maybe with that move. I'm not sure what I was doing. Not even rusty. I was just terrible. But now we're gonna go for the move on Danny Bresnay. You can see we got a full battery and a nice bit of slipstream. We're straight away gonna go for the move on Philip Reichneder into the bus stop chicane up to P4 with 3 laps to go at the end of this lap. So great few laps here on this brand new set of mediums. And yeah, Barry is the one that boxed earliest. I think he boxed at the end of lap 13. Now it's only a 3 lap difference, but Spa is a very long track, remember, so yeah, gonna be interesting for sure. To see how it's gonna pan out. 3 laps to go and we need to overtake 3 cars, so very simple. We have to overtake 1 car per lap, and you can see they know it as well that we are coming on a fresh set of tires. No one wants to lead though because of the DRS situation on F124, and that kind of bit them in the foot. Is that a saying? I don't know if it's a saying, but up to P3 we go. Ahead of Barry with a huge moment. Otis had a huge moment as well, but my battery was running a little bit low because of the previous moves I'd made, so I decided, you know what, we're gonna recharge and set ourselves up for the final lap of this race. Thomas 7-8 tenths ahead of us, so we could go for a move here, but we're not gonna get past Otis probably no matter what. So I was like, you know what, you guys fight and use your battery, and I'm just gonna sit back here and save my battery for the last straight towards the bus stop chicane. As Freddy retires from the session, I think he had an incident with Barry last lap, so yeah, not a great race for Fred. Did get pole position though, so his pace was phenomenal, like always. And now we're sitting on 100% battery. Now the battery is not my main concern. My main concern here is the maximum deployment you can use during a lap, and that's the green bar above the yellow bar. And you can see we barely used our battery and it's already down like 25%, so we're gonna use all of that in this last sector. But yeah, as you can see here, Thomas was almost backing off. I'm not sure what was going on, but yeah, now the gap is really big to Otis. We obviously have a lot more battery to use here, so we're just gonna absolutely send it. But might have cost us, but also Thomas maybe the win here. I'm not sure why he was backing off so much. Maybe he was saving his battery, I'm not sure. But into the final corner we go. We go around the outside and up to P2 we go. We're gonna fall slightly short of P1 unfortunately.
I'm sorry, I tried something and it didn't work.
Yeah. As you can even say, I tried something and it didn't work. I tried to save my battery for the last sector, and perhaps it could have worked, but yeah, Thomas just slightly held back a little bit. Maybe he was trying to stop us from getting a run on him. I'm not sure exactly. He probably had a good reason to. Thomas had a little bit of a moment in the final chicane as well, which lost him in a few positions. There was no contact whatsoever, so we were never under investigation. But yeah, we extend the championship lead at least, of course. As I'm not sure where Brendan finished in this race, but I think Danny Bresnay, our old teammate in P3, Otis, well-deserved win. Frustrating we didn't get the win from P7 on the grid actually. Would have been great. But yeah, it was a great race nonetheless. Lots of great battles. Hope you guys enjoyed as well. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.